They say that Native Americans are not actually from America. They came from Asia or other parts of the world, and their ancestors may have traveled to the Americas as early as 15,000 years ago. Is that true? The origins of Native American culture in the United States can be traced back to the arrival of primitive Indians to the Americas many thousands of years before the country was even established. What if I told you that the history you've been taught is just a fraction of the truth? In this eye-opening video, we'll go back through time to the origins of Native Americans and learn about their extraordinary journey. We'll debunk myths, separate fact from fiction, and expose their genuine roots. So don't blink, stick around till the end, as we will tell you some fascinating truths that the history books might have left out. Excited? Let's dive in. It is believed that in the beginning, a great flood covered the world, forcing animals and birds to seek refuge on a log. Among them was the tiny muskrat, which was crucial in finding land. The creatures took turns diving into the water, searching for dirt to return to the surface, but each attempt was unsuccessful. The persistent muskrat finally emerged with a paw full of earth, which was placed on the back of a turtle's shell, forming North America, known as Turtle Island. With this, the Maya creation story also speaks of a primordial sea and sky, where the gods created animals and birds but sought to make beings capable of worship. After several failed attempts with mud and wood, humans were eventually formed from maize dough, gifted with intelligence and knowledge, becoming the first people who could worship the gods. Some people say that there is the wore-out creation of people living in the sky, and their discovery of a hole leading to a new world below. A young hunter ventured through the hole, bringing back a deer, and others followed. However, a woman became stuck in the sky, becoming the morning star, preventing the return of the people to their homes. Moreover, historians have proposed the Beringia land bridge theory. The Bering Land Bridge was a landmass that connected Asia and North America during the last ice age. The ice sheets that covered the northern hemisphere were so thick that they created a land bridge about 1,600 kilometers wide. This land bridge allowed humans to travel between Asia and North America. The Bering Land Bridge disappeared about 12,000 years ago when the ice sheets melted. However, it is believed that humans crossed the land bridge into the Americas as early as 15,000 years ago. Ancient archaeological findings challenged the belief that migration occurred solely through the ice-free corridor. The discovery of an ancient village and campsites along the Pacific coastline, more than 14,000 years old, supports the theory that people arrived by boat, expanding our understanding of the complex history of indigenous settlement in the Americas. Whether people reached by land or water, they soon spread throughout the Americas. The Monte Verde site in Chile, occupied at least 14,800 years ago, provides valuable insights into ancient village life. The people at Monte Verde lived in huts made from wood, animal hides, and woven rope. Their presence in South America indicates the early establishment of human settlements on the continent. The site yielded fascinating evidence of a diverse diet, including 10 types of seaweed, crab and clamshells, and the remains of mammoths and llamas. This marine-based diet indicates a well-adapted society that thrives on coastal resources, reflecting a deep understanding of their environment and its offerings. Over thousands of years, the accumulation of knowledge through experimentation and trial and error shaped what we now refer to as traditional knowledge. In North America, a significant discovery of ancient stone tools in Clovis, New Mexico, shed light on the way of life of early indigenous hunters. The Clovis First theory, which suggested that the earliest people in the Americas arrived shortly after the glaciers melted and used the same tool technology, dominated the early 20th century archaeological discourse. However, later findings challenged this theory, revealing that indigenous people had been hunting megafauna with spearhead technology over 13,000 years ago. The discovery of mammoth bones alongside Clovis points provided compelling evidence of ancient hunting practices and offered insight into the lifestyle of these early inhabitants. Ancient hunters and anglers also used bone tools before the widespread use of stone tools. A mastodon bone tool was found tucked in the vertebrae of another mastodon at the Manus-Kill site in Washington state, providing unusual information about using bone tools. This finding is evidence of the smartness and resourcefulness of native peoples from ancient times who were content with what they had. Cultural indicators also lend credence to an Asian starting point. Some Native American communities, for instance, share artistic practices with Asian societies. For example, the Hopi people of Arizona believe in Kachinas, supernatural entities claimed to have traveled from the north. These specters resemble the Chinese sky gods in many ways. The use of a bow and arrow is another piece of cultural evidence. The original Native Americans probably took the bow and arrow with them when they arrived in the Americas from Asia, where it was invented. The bow and arrow was a crucial part of Native American culture since it was an efficient hunting tool. The Americas boasted unparalleled linguistic diversity before 1491, with an estimated 2,000 distinct languages spoken across the continent. These languages formed language families connected through shared words, grammar, and diction. While some Mesoamerican cultures had a complex writing system, most indigenous languages relied on oral traditions to pass down cultural, historical, and traditional knowledge. Indigenous linguists played a vital role in reconstructing and reviving languages once thought to be lost, ensuring the preservation of cultural heritage. As agriculture took root in the Americas, population growth and demographic changes followed suit. Villages, towns, and cities emerged as people settled in various regions. Remarkable urban centers like Tenochtitlan in Mesoamerica and Cahokia in North America thrived, boasting vibrant trade networks, cultural achievements, and intricate social hierarchies. However, this growth was not without its challenges, and factors like drought, warfare, and disease also shaped the demographic landscape. Between the woodland and Plaquemine periods, the indigenous Coles Creek culture flourished in the lower Mississippi Valley. More complex political institutions emerged during this time. While the eastern agricultural complex and hunting were still essential, maize did not play a significant role in the economy until the subsequent Plaquemine Mississippian period. After exploring the Mazik archaeological site, James A. Ford first identified the culture by the distinctive design of grog-tempered ceramic ware. After researching the more popular Mazik culture, he considered going with the more obscure Coles Creek site's name. Not only this, but there is a wealth of genetic evidence to support the theory that Native Americans originated in Asia. The human genome sequencing provided valuable insights into the ancestry and migrations of ancient peoples. Researchers traced migration patterns and settlement history by comparing the DNA of modern indigenous populations with that of ancient remains. For example, Native Americans share many genetic similarities with Asian people. It is because Native Americans and Asians share a common ancestor. One way to study genetic similarities was to compare DNA sequences. DNA is the genetic material that makes up all living things. It is made up of a long chain of nucleotides. The order of the nucleotides in a DNA sequence determines the characteristics of an organism. Scientists have compared DNA sequences from Native Americans and Asians. They found that Native Americans and Asians share many identical DNA sequences. It suggested that Native Americans and Asians are closely related. The discovery of Naya, a young woman who lived over 13,000 years ago in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, offered direct evidence of ancestral connections to present-day indigenous communities in North and Central America. Genetic research has allowed us to comprehend better the intricate web of relationships between different populations and their migrations across continents. The Americas pre-1491 history is a fascinating narrative of peoples migrating, civilizations colliding, languages evolving, and innovations shaping many societies. Discoveries in archaeology and genetics have provided us with priceless information about the past. Indigenous researchers' work in fields like archaeology, linguistics, and genetics is essential to recovering and preserving indigenous cultures and recognizing the tenacity and brilliance of the people who first inhabited the Americas.